And tired words from very tired eyes. Both the boys of APG and EN have been at it all day, but we do wave a very fond farewell to APG.
Yeah.
Right, so to the matter at hand. Next game up is going to be a best of one. Possibility for trees strats. I'm always excited.
Nah. Actually, if there's a cheese strat, it'll be WRG. Maybe they feel like everybody else has been playing cheese strats against them. So they're like, guys, we want our chance as well. We also want to pick Husker.
The favor.
Yeah. We also want to play Husker Oracle.
What do you think?
Just no.
No, you can't just no.
Just no. I don't approve.
You do not approve?
I do not approve.
It's not great. It's like, I don't know, G-Strat Dota is not fun to watch all the time.
No, it really isn't. It doesn't show the true skill set of the team as a whole. So I really don't enjoy those type of maneuvers.
That being said, though, today we did see two attempted G-Strats. One was tried in Husker. That game went forever. The other one was tried by BVD, in fact, when they went for Drow Puck. And that game also went on forever. So maybe it doesn't really matter anymore. You're like, you know you're going to play a super long game, so you might as well draft heroes and draft in a way that allows you to play that long game, because you probably won't win at the cheese. Has anyone won at the cheese strat this weekend? I don't think so.
Sinister 5 did.
Yeah.
Oh, did they? What did they win with? They had the Viper and?
I had Viper, Veno, they had the whole shebang of disgusting cheese strat. Monkey King, yeah, they had.
Oh yeah, the offlane Monkey King, yeah.
They had the cheese strat of note there. So, I mean, they actually did win with it, but the rest of the teams I don't believe did win with the cheese strat. I think it all, kind of sunk for everyone else.
XTC probably came the closest, playing with offlane Monkey King themselves as well.
But
I think this is probably like the matter we've seen so far, to expect the most stable drafts. Like, neither of these teams are known generally for doing crazy things. They do weird things, but not like things that like...
I mean, on that note, I know someone who loves cheese on his pizza, and he plays for XTC.
Poor Dustin.
So there's our first contestant, and they ranked second in the previous tournament. Is it going to be a similar case here?
Well, I think Energy looked a little bit shaky today, but I think that's also due to the fatigue factor. But it was an upset initially, because everyone bet Energy to become second in the last tournament, and XTC just went, boop, no, it's ours. Thank you very much, goodbye. So I definitely think that they can do it again. And also, XTC has actually taken a game with WRG before, not a series, a game, and this is a best of one. So they could potentially knock down WRG to the loser bracket that no one else in the country has ever done before since their time of being on top. This could happen. We could see this.
Even if they don't, I think they'll probably still come second anyway, right?
No, obviously, I mean, WRG, I mean, I'm not betting on any other team with WRG to win this weekend. And I say that with the utmost respect for everyone here. I just don't feel like the teams are at WRG's level yet, but see,
we've been feeling a lot of things this weekend that haven't come true.
I think on this, I can put my feet on solid ground and stay there.
I don't know, like, before we came into the tournament, I was fairly sure that if WRG was going to lose, we were going to lose to Energy. But seeing how XTC have been playing and the confidence they've been playing with, I don't know, I feel like they could also beat WRG. Like, WRG definitely has the advantage, obviously. But there's a really good possibility that XTC take them. At the very least, I don't think this will be a quick game. I think WRG is actually going to have to really sweat to beat XTC in the form they're in right now.
Look, I still feel like WRG is going to come first, but second place is very negotiable. I mean, Energy, XTC, both equally strong, amazing teams. They really, really are. And they're pretty evenly matched, I feel. But, however, when it comes to the mid with Deppy and Castaway, Deppy is the only mid player that I've seen really contest Castaway. So this could be interesting. Like I said, in a best of one situation, I think XTC could actually knock WRG down to the lower bracket, not take the entire competition, but at least do something that no other team has accomplished in South Africa yet. I'm excited for this match. I can't wait.
And like you said, they are taking on not only the little guys and getting it to here, but also going up against the likes of WRG. WG, so far, an outstanding performance here at this tournament, but we kind of expected that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. They haven't really actually gotten a chance to really showcase what they're really made of. Like from the onset, people have been trying to outsmart them, play in a style that like pushes them back. So they've been playing actually very reactionary Dota, like very like, all right guys, we know what they're gonna do, let's do this to counter it, then we win the game. And we haven't actually seen them say, let's take the fight to them, see what they make of this, and then judging on their enemy team response, then we'll adjust our own strategies. It's been a very paint by numbers tournament thus far for WG, but I think they'll be challenged here this game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a real one.
And I mean, WG is the best in the country as it stands today. And as it stands today, XTC are the second best in the country as it stands today. If it's true, we'll see, because I mean, Energy is definitely a very good contender for second place, but
yeah.
they're not here to take second, they're here to take first. Can it be done is the question.
I think XTC plays good at playing long games as well. Like Energy's been forced into playing long games. I'm not sure if it's entirely their strength.
Yeah.
Whereas XTC is really, really good at playing these very long, drawn-out type of games. So I think if they can force WG into a situation where they have to play into the late game, that might be a place where they can say, all right, guys, we have better experience in this category of game. I mean, WG hasn't had to play long games such a long time.
Of course.
So it could be a good thing for them.
And they did express some concern about being overconfident. But before we wave goodbye to APG for good, we do have a few words from them. As so I hear Gareth would like to catch up with them. Apparently they've got something to say to you, the fans.
Thanks a lot, Nick. The guys from APG are obviously very thankful for the opportunity to play, and they want to thank their fans and their sponsors, Antec and Red Dragon. They've got some swag to give away to the fans in the crowd. So can the APG fans make some noise, because some of the players want to hand out some giveaways to you guys. Hope they've got their eyes open, they're spotting out who the fans are, and they will make their way to you. Awesome, thank you. No speeches from them. They are men of few words. They just want to give out some swag. So if Rick and Bob and them want to go find the guys in the crowd, make some noise. Our APG fans, thank you.
See, APG, real heroes.
I just want to say one thing, Bob Yules, nice pajamas, bro.
Someone get a shot of that before he leaves.
I mean, that's a real man, you know, winning Dota in pajama pants and flops.
Man.
I could see him pitching up for his flight in, you know, one of those pajamas with the butt missing, that sort of thing.
How do you know he didn't?
Maybe. He probably did. You never know.
We do have one person on our crew that literally pitched up to the airport in a onesie, so I won't cast any names, but it happened, guys. It happened.
Seems to be a
trend.
favoring trend.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the matter at hand. We've seen all sorts of drafts. Some of them absolutely crazy, absolutely left field. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. Some of the strats worked, some of the strats didn't. Are we expecting anything wild here, given that it's the best of one?
I don't think so. Like Snail
You mean
said.
you mentioned WG might come out with something.
Yeah.
I actually tend to think XTC is the more wild card here.
No, I don't think
because
so.
they've taken energy before.
No, I mean, they've taken a game of WG before, but they didn't do it with a crazy draft or crazy strat. They just literally had the better draft. And WG tend to win, irrespective of the fact that they had a better draft or not. WG have always just won games. Whereas XTC took them, the game that they took off WG in the last tournament, they did it with heroes that worked for them, comfortable heroes. So I don't feel like XTC are going to do that. Yeah, like you said, like they do crazy things, but not over the top, like whacked out cheese drafts. It's just not the XTC that I know.
I think what we should probably see from XTC and WG this particular matchup, there's going to be a lot of crossover, more so than usual in terms of the heroes that they both want to get. They both going to want to prioritize Clockwork, they both want Spirit Breaker, they both want the Jakiro. So these kind of heroes that normally XTC has like a very set style of gameplay, and then WG just like does whatever. But now the fact that they share hero pools does change how the drafting priority is going to be.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we might see like the emergence of Underlord and Centaur. I think both teams, I don't think both teams like would have, I'm not sure if they would have prepared necessarily strats for these heroes, but now that you see what they can do, you have to take it into account because we know the tournament metas change as they go along. So now that people can see how powerful Underlord can actually be, even if it hasn't won all its games, it's still been very strong. And obviously anti-mage, 100% win rate. Like it would suck to get last pick anti-mage, then you lose. You're just like, wow, that sucks. That's not fun. So probably Anti-Mage and Necro are going to be the big heroes to ban in the final
I
phase.
also feel like something they could potentially do is what they've done in the past, is draft one way and then leave, and then ban certain ways, and then making the other enemy team think, okay, well, they're not going to take this, and then sucker punch them with the last pick of the Storm Spirit or Medusa, or, you know, something that's like game breaking to WRG's draft, because they've done that in the past, and they sucker punched so many different, like on the last pick sucker punch, and you think, okay, well, they've got their mid, they've got their carry, they've got their offlane, we don't have to worry about those heroes, that type of thing, and then they all of a sudden pick something completely out of the books that you didn't see coming, and I've seen XTC win games by doing that, by tricking the other drafter into thinking something's happening when it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens more often in my experience with XTC.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense to me. Also, like, Scarnet used to play with Chidawi way back when they played on the noob side.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of the way they
calm.
play offlane is extremely similar. Like, just seeing the way Chidawi plays, I think he plays like an upgraded version of Scarnet.
Yeah.
So most likely they will see them also talk amongst the teams which heroes they want to prioritize in that pool, like Darkseers, Sand Kings, LC. Like, neither of them, I haven't seen either play Axe in a while. But I think Darkseer is like the priority hero for both teams, right?
And I do know that WG do like their Earthshaker, so we're probably going to see that as well.
I hope so. I don't understand why it's not picked at all. It's so good. It's like, I'm sure what's going to happen is that one of these teams is going to pick it, absolutely dominate with it, and then some other teams are going to be like, well, if we picked Earthshaker, we might still have been in the game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure if Sinister 5, for example, had picked Earthshaker instead of Enchantress, they would have won that game.
Yeah, that Enchantress pick.
Oh,
I'm never going to
so
live it down.
much hate.
It really
So much hate on the poor little
Like,
Enchantress.
It's
Just
that
that one hero.
It's
I
just that one
enjoyed it.
hero. It's the
I
draft.
really enjoyed the pick.
Yeah, the draft was great. It's just that one hero that just didn't fit. It's like, don't pick Bambi.
I feel like they'll never live it down.
It's going to be, you know, it was a Sinister pick. It happens.
Excuse the pun, guys.
We just can't keep away from them, I guess. Well, both teams are looking calm, and that says more to XTC than it does to WRG. WRG came into this feeling confident. They've said themselves overconfident. They actually raised some concerns about that.
Oh, yeah, Ryan, I'm sorry, aka Chidawi, said he feels like they're overconfident for this tournament because the last tournament we saw teams do some things to WRG that have never been done before. So, I mean, as time progresses and teams practice and practice and practice way more to beating them, their objective is to beat WRG. So as time goes on, teams are getting closer and closer and closer to that reality. So that's why being overconfident could be your downfall because you think, oh, there's no way these guys are going to beat us. We're going to win no matter what we do. We can throw the game and still come back. You know, it can be that type of mentality that will, in the end, cost you everything.
Do you think they received a bit of a wake-up call in their first game when Sin 5 was actually looking relatively strong?
I don't think so. I think that game they were just like, yeah.
It's a cheese strat. So.
They were just like, whatever. For me, the interesting thing is going to be XTC because I was speaking to the MGO manager, and he was saying that he thinks that one of the reasons why XTC struggles so much versus WRG is the same reason why for so long we saw WRG struggle versus Bravado, where the team is actually better. But because of the mental block they have in going up against this opponent, they can't necessarily bring their full skills to fruition against that team. So, and XTC have had shades of that for a while where they look much better against other teams than against WRG. Like, objectively, they play worse against WRG than they do against everyone else. So, if that changes, and I think it has, like, the team looks much more comfortable now than they have in the past.
They are a band of mercenaries.
They're professional now. They're like, all right, guys, when we're playing, we're not just playing for friendship. We're not just playing for the love of the game. We're playing because this is what we do. This is our lives now. This is where we want to go. This is the career path that we've chosen. And when you're playing with that mentality, it changes things because now you're no longer playing with your hearts as much. They're playing very much with their brains. And that can be the switch, the flick, the wake-up call that they needed to be able to actually take the game to WRG and not just play into their hands.
I suppose one could say that you're not only messing with my game, but you're also messing with my wallet.
I don't think it's so much the fact of, yes, money's nice, sure, but I think it's more of a sense of pride in their brand, in their team, in their egos. It's more of a sense of, well, we've done something that neither South African team has done before. It's it's more that sense of accomplishment that I think they're after.
Maybe it's the Sinister 5 thing. Like Sinister 5 decided they're going to be here, they're here.
Yeah.
So you decide we're going to beat WRG.
And maybe, just maybe you will, yeah.
If you eventually, if you're committed to it, you will.
Yeah.
You just have to believe as well that you can do this thing.
I've heard that so many times in games. Never works out.
Yeah. In my games, it never works. Yeah. Normally, when you're like 2 racks down and you say, team, believe, that does nothing.
Well, let's face it. I mean, we've got player skills that are completely different here. I mean, the duel of Santo and Schlinks, there's nowhere near supports like that in South Africa at the moment, except if you look at the Habibi and Odu combos.
I'm
right?
not sure. Dota and Die, I actually think Dota and Die has been my favorite support.
Dota and Die is a great support, but compared to Schlinks and Santo?
I think he's played better than both of them, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I think like they haven't had as much to do for the team. Like a lot of the wins that WRG
sure, they had to work harder. They had to work harder. But the one game Santo really did have to work.
Yeah, all he had to do was like run around and die.
Suicide, yeah. But it's actually a lot harder than it looks because you have to be convincing in doing that. So you have to bait the enemy team into coming for you. You know, it's a lot harder than it looks. But for me, I feel like the best support duos in the country at the moment, it has to be the Odu Habibi and the Schlinks and Santo. Those guys are great. And
but what about for the side of XTC here?
Well, XTC, for me, the star in XTC is Depi. Like, for me, he is, I wouldn't say better, but he can be just as good as Castaway. Like, he's the only mid to ever truly, in a professional setting at a LAN, contest Castaway. Like, he can, I mean, if you look at him, sometimes with the last hit deny mechanic, sometimes with even solo killing Castaway, like he's above or ahead. And the only reason why Castaway sometimes will win the mid is because he supports rotate better and look after him, where Steppy supports sometimes don't look after him enough. They TP in just a little bit too late, or there's not the accurate amount of vision, or there's not enough information on the map for him to make a judgment call. So for me, that's why.
They could probably address that though in the draft.
They could,
like,
and they are aware of those things. So let's see if they can correct those simple little mechanics.
Yeah.
I feel like they can. I mean, XTC as a team as a whole, they are brilliant players. I'm not trying to undermine them at all. I just purely I really do feel that WRG are on the next level. But as you say as well, you keep telling yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and eventually you'll do it. I mean, that's how WRG inevitably beat Bravado. Half a decade, they dominated LANs, and eventually they did it. And they knocked the big, well, as Wilson called them, the big blue dragon.
Yeah.
They knocked them down, and now they've dominated the scene for an entire year, and not quite like any other team's ever done so. No one in South Africa has dominated the way WRG has.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
No one's taken a series off of them in a year. When has that ever been done? Even in the international scene, when has that ever been done?
I think the closest to that was like Navi, Alliance, and maybe Team Secret.
Yeah.
That also had like long stretches of utter domination.
Yeah.
The thing about WRG though that I do like is how they haven't yet stopped taking everybody else around them super. They haven't started joking in their games. They still they don't meme about it. They still play serious Dota.
Of course they do.
XTC plays the same kind of serious Dota.
It's not like it's easy for them either, yeah. Because the skill cap is getting smaller and smaller, where teams can start to contest them. But like 6 months ago, no one could do anything about them. Now it's different. Now, like I said, this is a very possible fact that we can witness some history in the making here, where XTC could be the first team in South Africa to knock down WRG into the lower bracket, just purely because it is a best of one. I know they've taken a game with them before in a LAN setting. They could do it.
Yeah.
I do believe.
I also think like if XTC have a lot of incentive for this, right? Because you win this, you're in the grand finals with a 1-game advantage, so it's a lot easier to win the entire tournament. So
yeah,
it's very likely that the team that wins this just wins the entire tournament. It creates so much more difficulty for when you have to go down to the loser bracket, play that out, and then come back and win another 3 games. So having to only win 2 games to win an entire tournament, this basically, like I feel like this is actually part of the grand final, the winner bracket final. So winning this 1 game sets you up so much and put you that much closer to becoming the final Masters of the Year victory.
And I believe we're also doing the game in hand situation. So you literally only have to win 2 games in the grand final. Normally you have to win 3. Because it is a best of 5 after all. That means the losing team, the team that comes down from the lower bracket, has to win 3 games, not just 2. And in a row, because well, not in a row, but you know what I mean. They just win 2 and they're fine, they're even. But it is a lot harder sitting in that position, but I feel like if anyone could do that, WRG could, especially in that type of setting. I mean, they've played the grand best of 5 final and they had to play all 5 games. They were 2 up, and then Verado came back, beat them 3-2.
They were utterly crushed.
It was just demoralizing to watch, and it was an exciting final. It made for amazing Dota, but just imagine how they must have felt.
Yeah, not fun.
It's really not fun to lose in that fashion.
Apart from it not being fun, it actually looked like they were going to finally break
Bravado,
the back of the dragon, so to speak. But this is ancient history, and now the title of that dragon has moved well on.
Yeah.
What hasn't moved on, though, is our dear MC, Gareth, who's sitting with someone rather special. Take a look.
Someone special indeed. I managed to pick out of the crowd a caster named Congo Kyle. How are you doing, sir?
Well, man, thanks for grabbing me.
Congo still is a caster, but more on the CSGO scene. And I was actually just wondering, obviously as a CSGO fan here watching Dota, you used to play Dota back in the day, right?
Yeah, I must be honest, every time I watch these kind of events and I watch TI, which is coming up soon, I get this like inkling, like I want to get back into Dota, I want to play Dota again, I don't know if casting Dota, but just playing again. But then, yeah, obviously CS just keeps me busy as well, as much as it has for the last few weeks. So, yeah, I want to get back into Dota, and more matches like this, and definitely more events like this, it makes me like really, really keen to get back to Dota. So far, it's won me over.
So obviously you're an ex-Dota player, and it's maybe easy to get that addiction back. But how cool are events like this for drawing in brand new players who maybe have never even heard of the game?
I think it's awesome. I mean, Dota 2 is it's a tough game to sort of understand. You have to have I'd say a very brief understanding of the game to really enjoy what's to offer here. But I think for a lot of people, there are some people in the crowd, as people who sit here don't know Dota. And there's a lot of people, gamers, players in the crowd who will happily explain to them sort of what's going on. And it's great for, I mean, not only the players, they see the guys on stage, see the casters, and these are people that started in their bedrooms, with mom bringing them tea between each game. So it's great for them to be on stage and be, in the booths and pretty much have a feel for everything that's going on. It's pretty much inclusive for everybody in the gaming industry right now, not only limited to the players, and it's open for anyone, really.
Thanks for that, Carl. I think that's a key message, is the fact that to get here all starts in the same place, and that's the guys signing up for whatever league. You yourself can sign up for the VS Gaming Leagues, climb the ranks, get through second div, first div, prem, and be one of these masters teams fighting for over R500,000. Just a reminder to the guys who are here at the expo, though, we are now about to close as it's just past 6 o'clock, but if you're here to watch the rest of the Dota, you're welcome to stay, and obviously if you're in the comfort of your room watching on the stream, please do enjoy, and otherwise we will see you here tomorrow for both the loser finals and of course our grand finals.
Thanks, Gareth, and thank you, Kyle. I never realized you like being grabbed. Maybe next time I'll grab you.
Oh my.
Demon Eater Arcana. Quick reminder, that is going to be up for grabs on stream. One lucky winner will be walking away with that. Right, so back to the business.
I like what Congo was saying. I thought talking about like grinding from the beginning, right?
Oh yeah.
Because I actually remember when WRG, when they still just called noob, it was Chidawi, 225, Scarnet, and I forget who it was. It was a long time ago, but I remember being in the open dev group, them crushing everybody every game. It was great. And then I lost many times to Chidawi on the road to him being here. Now, there was once a point where anybody could be this WRG team. All it takes is a few years of dedication, lots of game time, and having fun.
And a damn good draft, which is exactly where we are sitting now. Succubus, any predictions on who's going to carry who, where?
Well, give it us some comfort here. Give him something like an Ursa, Juggernaut, that type of thing. Please don't give him a Gyro, boys.
What's Daston's signature heroes?
Basically, like fighting carries. Ursa, you give him Ursa, you give him Juggernauts, you could give him Troll. He is pretty good on Troll as well. It used to be like the Lunas, that type of thing. He's pretty proficient on Morphling, but not like he doesn't pick it as much as you would see in RDK or Morphling. Because like he's known for that hero. But give him the Ursa, the Juggernauts. Go for those vibes.
I think his favorite hero is Sven.
Yeah,
in
that
the
as
carry
well,
position,
but it
that's
hasn't,
usually banned.
yeah, it is usually banned, especially when people play up against. I didn't even mention that because it's like, it's not going to happen. They're not going to give him Sven.
Yeah, it hasn't even been mentioned once in this entire
Well,
tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
people aren't going to let him play it, and it's also just such a good hero in this match, especially since you can now stack the jungle every minute, so you can just create so much space on the map for Sven now.
So, oh, thank
Oh,
goodness.
Earthshaker's
Listen to your
been
advice and
banned.
taken out that Earthshaker, Nightstalker to boot. And on the opposite side of the coin, from the side of XTC, that Nyx Assassin, which is also seeing quite a lot of bans these days. Why is that?
Oh, it gives too much information to your team. Like, you can, as soon as you hit level 6, suddenly the whole map is open to you. You have effectively a mobile ward platform that can just run around, scout people out. The Mono Burn is very good against the majority of the mid-tempo controlling mids that exist right now. Also messes up the gameplay of a lot of offlane heroes. And they ban these clockworks, so they're gambling if they're going to give away Coddle or Spirit Breaker. What's it going to be?
Spirit Breaker.
All right.
Yeah.
So
we knew
the space cow.
Does
we
that
knew
mean
someone
White
was going to
Rabbit
pick
Gaming
it.
picks up
We
the
knew
Coddle?
it.
I'm not sure.
No,
Like
I don't
WG
think
sometimes
so.
doesn't really care about Coddle. Although Santo's really good at it.
He is, but I mean, I don't think they're gonna pick it. My issue here is the Spirit Breaker now. I mean, okay, yeah, the Nyx Assassin is missing, but I mean, there's very few heroes like a Nyx Assassin that can, first of all, engage and disengage in fights, or stop at a gank altogether. So, I mean, he's got the Spike Carapace, he's got that Mini Ravage, and of course, he's got the Invis Impale, so to speak. So he's one of those very versatile heroes in the matchup. So I'm worried what they're going to pick in. And there we go. There's your answer, Tusk.
There's a hero we haven't
seen. Santo Tusk.
Santo Tusk. And here's another hero that accomplishes pretty much what a Nyx Assassin does, just not as sneaky.
This is one of the specials, though, from WRG.
Yeah.
They often pick this hero. They win quite a lot with it. Like, we've only seen this hero once, this tournament, but one of the things that Tusk does allow you to do, like, the roaming potential, even from an earlier level than the Nyx Assassin, you're basically never safe. It's sort of like a shorter range version of the Spirit Breaker that also has the ability to block you off. And then they go for AA. So this is actually kind of rare, the fact that WRG went for their support duo, like, right off the bat.
Yeah, well, it's a safe thing to do, is get your supports out the way, so you don't reveal too much about your mid and, of course, your carry, which you don't want them to start counter-picking straight away. So it doesn't reveal that much about your draft, but it also leaves options open for them to pick whatever they want, because they know, okay, well, this is bad against this, AA is bad against that, we can't really pick this into a Tusk, or, you know, that type of thing. So they've got also a little bit more flexibility.
Probably the reason they do this, though, is to preempt XTC possibly picking up Necro at some point.
Yeah, they could. I mean, AA negates any type of healing hero,
Yeah.
so it is kind of like. But do they think they care about that though? I mean,
I think possibly.
Necro is nice with the heal, but you do
they
pick him.
definitely won't pick it into
Yeah,
AA.
yeah, they won't pick it into AA, but they could potentially do it if they don't care about that. Because I mean, you can still use Necro's ulti. I mean, AA ulti is up at, like. It's very short cooldowns, but it's not going to always be up. So you can still use Necro, but I don't think they would pick it into it either.
So now XTC need to decide if they're also going to reveal their first two supports. The one thing is what they were able to do in the second phase is just ban out all the core heroes they definitely don't want to play against. They don't have to worry about supports anymore, which is nice for them. So now they go for this Lich.
Yeah.
All right, so both teams go for their support pickups early. They both really don't want to reveal what they want to do. I think XTC is, so far, they're definitely drafting more reactively to what WRG is trying to do. I think they're trying to wait to see one of the first core picks of WRG before thinking about where to go in their own direction in their draft. What this Lich does give them the ability to do, it's not very defensive in that they can't really TP somewhere and guarantee a save. But what they can do is like put you down. This is going to be one of those bad shit out again. I'm not going to enjoy life in this lane.
No.
We've seen a Lich once before in this tournament. Didn't really have that much effect.
Actually, it
I mean, the ultis were well placed. He was doing everything right.
The game was just too long.
Yeah, it really was. Like, Lich really does fall off towards the late game. I mean, the super late game. Late game he's okay. I mean, the ice arm is always useful. The ulti is always useful, especially when BKB's on 5 seconds. And
He has some of the best talents in the game, but
he really does, and he auto wins you a lane essentially because of the sacrifice creep mechanic. And obviously the ice armor, but the best thing about Lich is he makes everyone in a fight split up where you can zone out and pick off a certain hero. Because it literally, you can't 5-on-5 with a Lich, because as soon as that ulti drops, you have to separate from each other.
You have to do the delta split.
And then the most mobile heroes of the enemy team is going to jump and get you on your own. So Lich is incredibly great at doing that, but super late game, like we were saying, like he really just fell off. But it did make a difference though, because when the Lich wasn't around, it was was a lot easier for them to take towers because Ice Arm is no longer there.
Do you perchance think that this is going to be Castaway's worst nightmare, as he's described it to us? A tri-lane mid. You could just park the Lich mid. And
that's what, honestly,
away
I feel like nowadays, if you want to win Dota at a very high level, you effectively end up doing dual or tri-lanes mid anyway. You just have one hero there, just parking, sitting out. Like, that's probably, like, Lich might just decide to do that. Just sit around mid, deny all the experience, make life difficult for Castaway. Speaking of, I'm actually really glad that they banned Necro on the side of XTC, because as good as AA is against Necroforce, it is amazing with Necro. Like, if you find yourself in the middle of a team fight, there's an Ice Blast on you, and there's a Neck running after you with Hot Stopper or as well as Death Pulses, it's really awful.
Because it's both percentage-based as well.
It's kind of like playing against Warlock and the Venom Monster. And they go for Puck, a hero that actually wasn't banned, really? Oh, okay, so Castaway Puck. So now you kind of have to pick like Queen of Pain. You can't go for melee hero versus Puck. You can't go Necro, that's been banned out.
But how is Deppy's not afraid? That's the only answer here. They didn't really go nuts with mid heroes here in terms of banning. So Deppy, not afraid of Castaway?
Should be afraid of Puck, man. This hero is very scary. This is a terrifying hero.
Do you know they used to back in the day they used to call Puck the better version of Quap.
Yeah.
They used to, I don't know how relevant that is anymore, because I mean Quap has gotten some significant buffs over the last couple of years, and it is pretty evasive. But for me, in most situations, a Puck is better. It is just so much better because it's got that lockdown ulti, it cancels TPs, you know, all those great things. It's got the silence, it's got an amazing nuke, and of course it scales exceptionally well late game, and its farm can just start to explode as well. So it can build whatever it wants to build. At level 25, you mean, what is it, plus 400 and something gold, plus 420 gold per minute? That's insane. And we get a Void. So Lich Void.
Somebody other than APG.
This is
drafts a Void.
Usually XTC when they pick Void is for Skynet. He's been playing this hero for a very long time. I would go as far as say it's probably a signature hero.
Yeah.
So this is a hero that can actually be very good against the Puck, decent enough versus Tusk. I think it's actually good against. Wait, I'm not sure with the interaction with AA. When you time walk, does it remove the Ice Blast? I don't think you recover the health. That's one. No, I'm pretty sure. So it's actually AA counts as this.
Yeah, it does, but you can also at least lock down the Puck. It's something to lock down the enemy team and have that initiation as well. Plus, I mean, classic Lich Void. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
come on.
Like they both have super long cooldowns. Yeah, so
it does have super long cooldowns, but I mean, Lich's ulti doesn't have a massive cooldown as it scales into the late game. Void, you can have your ulti up every minute. Yeah. Batrider, finally. We haven't seen this.
Or is there a loser bracket draft and then a winner bracket draft?
So this Batrider hero hasn't been coming up whatsoever.
And we thought we would
see
it.
It's been banned twice, I think, but it's... So Batrider, one of the best things about this hero is it makes it incredibly hard for you to just pick any standard safe lane hero, because you can leave Batrider alone in the 1v1, and if Tusk rotates onto you, let's say you've already got like 3 or 4 napalm stacks, and then suddenly there's a snowball with ice onto you, you will die. There's definitely not enough time for you to escape.
There's nothing you can really do.
Yeah, I think this pick actually makes the WRG's laning phase super strong right now.
Of course it does, and it also can single out a hero that you really don't want in the fight, and I think they've got enough burst damage to take care of it. So I mean, Batrider, Blink in, Lasso, Forstaff in, and Weaver. These are all heroes that we've been expecting to see, but haven't yet, because it's not.
It's rather squishy, isn't it?
It is rather squishy, but it's also extremely evasive.
They needed a hero which could match up versus the Batrider by himself without having to constantly have Lich's Spirit Breaker be the babysitter. It's still actually kind of rough for Weaver, because what often ends up happening, you get like napalm 3 times, and then your turn rate as Weaver is not very high. So you have to run yourself like in a very weird pattern to get out of the Batrider's initiation, but it's still doable though. It's like a lot less chance of dying outright.
And it can lane quite efficiently against it as well. But another thing to point out is those bugs. Those bugs cancel out Blink Daggers if placed properly. And you want to scout out where the heroes are. So the Swarm is really good for that, especially when you're trying to push a lane. Yeah. So for me, like the Weaver is an excellent pick here. It's risky. It's risky as well. But
well, maybe the final bans can give us a clue on as to what they're thinking for their final picks.
They need like some super good mid hero here for like XTC. Like Viper's gone, Gyro's gone as well. So I don't know. XTC at this point in the game, I think they're probably going to be forced to go for like some burst damage, like Quabs, SF,
and we're going to have an Ember.
Right, so I don't know about Ember Spirit though. Ember Spirit like really can get dumpstered by a puck, but at the same time, if you get to the first 2 waves, fine, and the block is okay. And also Lich can help you out by denying the range creep from your wave. You can actually get to level 3 before the puck, and by that time you have a higher level in the Flame Guard before the puck is actually able to burst you down with the illusion orb.
Yeah, but the root is really great against puck as well.
Puck doesn't care too much though. You can just like phase shift out of it. Like you throw the orb, you phase shift, and then it's like it's fine. But then at the same time, there's a lot more damage that can come in from the rest of the team while you're rooted. So that can be a kite around you.
And for me, like the roots these days, you literally can't do anything about it. You can't blink out of it. You can't escape. I'm not talking about a lot of ATOS root. I'm talking about skill set roots like Crystal Maiden or Ember. You literally can't do anything about it. So for me, it really is great against puck. Like Ember does well, and he also deals with her magic burst pretty well with the Flame Guard. So for me, it is a great mid pick for them.
Either way, I think the concern is over the laning stage here.
Maybe Sven for WRG, Sven Troll. I don't know. They need a hero that can actually beat.
They pick up the Sven and
Anti-Mage is here. Anti-Mage is free.
Oh no, not again.
They can actually, like, this is a free game for Anti-Mage. The only way that they can stop Anti-Mage is if he gets Chronosphered, and then there's Root from Ember Spirit, but then he can get out of it. Morphling as well. It's one of those, I think Morphling fits the same bill. Heroes that you need a ton of lockdown to deal with. Lockdown and burst damage that they just do not have.
Yeah, but even if he gets chronoed, I mean...
Yeah, they can't kill him.
They can't kill him. I mean, if he just strength morphs, but... What is great is that now it reveals why they wanted to pick the AA, because AA is such a good hero against the Morphling, because think about it, the more you strength the morph, the more HP you're losing, which means you die so fast. It's like the old strategies with Pug, when people used to pick Morphling, they used to pick Pugner and just, put a ward down, and then he couldn't do anything, because suddenly you just lose your HP. But AA is the number one, like support-wise, number one counter pick against Morphling. So maybe, I mean, I was thinking about a Morphling in the back of my mind, but I didn't want to say it because I was like, when do WRG ever pick Morphling?
All right. Right, we need to round this up because the draft is done, the players are ready, the casters are waiting. Final predictions.
Morphling. So WRG only because of Morphling.
I think XTC could do this, but
they won't.
I just feel like on draft alone, it's set in stone. But you never know.
WRG and WRG. That's the predictions, casters. Do you agree? If you don't, c'est la vie.
Do you agree?
I agree that Puck is going to win this game.
I'll go with Halbert as well. WRG's lineup pretty solid so far with the Puck. I mean, Spirit Breaker easily to handle, and then it's just difficult. As you said earlier, Weaver is also one of the weak heroes against Puck.
I find it so weird. I mean, you get the Puck who basically comes equipped with Silence, right? And what is Silence good against Reigns? Well, it's good against heroes that use flash spells like, let's say, Live, like Astam Weaver, who's pretty weak.
You just asked me
burnt down
what's good against Silence. Or what Silence is good against.
Yeah. Because what's
About
good
everything?
against is good against Weaver, right?
Yeah.
You know what else is good against? Good against Ember Spirit.
Especially Ember Spirit, yeah. And then the Weaver, Ember Spirit, the core
you know what
is
else
actually...
is good against? Faceless Void. I mean, sure, most of these people, in fact, have they're going to go BKB or they're going to go Man Style, but they have a lot of heroes that rely on mobility, and what you will use for mobility, use Silence against mobility. And Castaway could potentially just run over this game in a big, big way.
Yeah, they actually had this sorted in with the third pick as well. I think that actually gave XTC a few question marks after picking up the Spirit Breaker first, and that's realizing, oh, okay, I can't really charge mid because he's most likely going to have phase shift by level 2, level 3, and then from then it's going to be a pretty difficult one because you can't really rely on the Tusk, not the Tusk, but Doom Bunny to rotate mid and try to take on Castaway 2 versus 1. So difficult lane mid for XTC, but otherwise, wow, I don't know, it's going to be a tough one, but yeah, leading towards WRG.
Hey, Reigns.
What's up?
Do you know what's good against Morphling?
What is good against Morphling, Halbert?
Silence. You know what XTC don't have?
Are you still on this, dude?
Yeah, I'm still on this because that's a Deppy hero as well. I just feel like they should just politely agree to swap heroes around. I mean, also, Castaways are a pretty solid Ember Spirit as well, so
yeah,
it just feels like this. If these were swapped around, this would make a lot more sense, but it's not. And I think Castaway is in a position to just win this game for his team. But let's see if let's get a charge coming in onto said Castaway. And he's just going to be irritated by Dota and Die for the time being. Does go usually over to the other side. But this is a very tanky, irritating sport.
It's for now. I mean, this is before Castaway gets his phase shift, right? So Dota and Die also acknowledging that he doesn't have phase shift for now, so might as well harassing while he's still level 1.
Yep. Top lane is also going to be interesting because Batrider is quite a difficult solo hero to go up against. Hastags obviously has a lot of mobility in the Weaver, which helps out. Keeps you from dying to the Batrider, per se, but also kind of hard to kill a Batrider since he can make your life pretty challenging just with enough stacks of sticky napalm, drop a Firefly when he's in trouble. You can't really run over it as the Weaver, and you sort of want to because you want to be on top of him to get the maximum out of your Tsukushi.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Chidawi also, you know, he's been around, like, I've remembered a few years back, can't remember what game because it's been so long, but you know when the Batrider was still in the meta, where it had been picked like almost every single competitive game.
So forever, basically, excluding one patch.
Yeah.
I mean, Batrider has just been one of those broken. I mean, it's one of those broken heroes. But towards the top room, you have a little shuffling. Santo and Don't Die having the dance. Looks like Don't Die gets the better of that for the time being. But Santo does actually want a piece of the mid lane. And Deppy, he's in danger here, right? Because you use the Flame Guard. Probably lose that to enough damage up it from Castaway immediately. But also, just with the Tusk potentially going in before he's level 6, could be in a lot of trouble. Anyways, enough about me. What do you think about these lanes so far, Ains?
Well, it's really early into the game right now. I mean, they're both teams are playing defensively. You get, you know, WAP just farming up. It's got 5 last hits right now, by the way. Being pushed back quite a bit, but, you know, it's consistently okay. I mean, it's still early. I'm sure he can get it back later. I mean, he's still just focusing on his morph right now.
So he's actually only 7 for 1 at the moment. Middle lane, actually, Deppy engages onto Castaway. The charge is also there, so Castaway got to be a little bit careful. Does he want this? Don't Die still going forward, but he decides against it. Of course, phase shift available with Castaway now. He is level 3. But a good exchange from Deppy. That's pretty nice work from him all the same. Bottom lane, do you see a shuffle? Not at all.
Well, it's very slow paced right now. And we've got Weaver, which actually has the most last hits right now, going in to the jungle, making sure that he steals some of Chidawi's creeps over here. So just making sure that he gets all these last hits in. And I think he's doing well as a solo. Meanwhile, mid.
They have in fact spent a lot of time on Castaway. You have the and the 17% that comes out. Castaway will get the silence out as well as Illusory Orb away. But that is really good. You can see the pressure they're putting on Castaway is pretty insane at the moment. I can't imagine a better thing to do. You have the Castaway, arguably one of the best, well, arguably the best player in South Africa, and he's on a hero that could literally take the game away from you, and they're putting a lot of pressure on him, which is the exact response that XTC need.
Yeah, here comes Santo though, just making sure that he's going to be okay, but also has the... I don't think he's gotten off his career with this bottle yet. Well, not now, but soon. But meanwhile, just trying to bait out Deppy or the Spirit Breaker, for instance, with Santo at the back ready to roll in whenever the Spirit Breaker does overextend.
Top lane as well, we haven't spoken too much about it for a while. Chidawi versus Hastags. Pretty much a 1v1 lane at the moment. Hastags actually having a pretty good time of it. He's got a significant last hit lead, getting the farm he needs for his team. Be interesting to see what build he goes for in the end. He doesn't have anything queued up just yet. But obviously, oh, he actually goes onto Chidawi here. So Chidawi going to do exactly what I expected. Tosses out the Firefly, gets a couple of stacks of sticky napalm up, will back off.
No, Santo just rotated top lane as well, just in case. But yeah, Chidawi is pretty safe so far. I wouldn't say it's... I think he would have survived anyway without Santo's rotation. But meanwhile, Hastags also pretty low on mana. So Tsukuchi is a problem if he does get ganked from now.
He does a 51 charge though. That's one issue that the Batrider is happy to solve, is mana. And you can see immediately 51 charges, full mana, out of trouble entirely. In fact, even going for the deny. Cheeky, but every little one helps. Bottom lane, we do have a tussle there. It's going to be Don't Die charging back in. Schlinks is okay. Scarnet also going to have to back off with the Time Walk. Not too keen to engage, but so far XTC have a minor little lead here. Brains, where do you think you are? If you're XTC, where do you want to find yourself in the next 5 minutes?
I think they're pretty steady okay. I mean, right now, Scarnet is getting the last hits also. I mean, it's not that much behind, let's say, compared to the Morphling at this moment. But meanwhile, when you're at a stem and you're getting those last hits in, you're pretty okay. And also, Deppy doing fine in Ember Spirit mid against Castaway so far.
See the eyes
Lots of
lighting
stacks going there, yeah.
Yeah, don't die. He's seeing things. He's eyeing out. I mean, it's great. Well, you know, I really enjoy casting Spirit Breakers, but they always lose when I cast them. By the way, that's the Hellbird curse. If Don't Die can break that. The only team who's been able to do so far is White Rabbit Gaming themselves.
Yeah, well, so far, I mean, 0 kills for both teams, and then there's still, it's almost 6 minutes in already. Scarnet wants it differently, though, while being charged in by the Spirit Breaker, and Scarnet's just trying to right-click him down as much as he can.
Yeah, we actually, in the other lane, is actually brought down, but while trying to morph through this, will survive for the time being. Teleportation coming in from Santo. Does he opt for it here? Then actually he had mana. No, he did not, so unable to do much about it. But I'm not sure what happened there. Was that just Castaway's solo kill on the Ember Spirit?
Yeah, it looks like it. Doesn't look like any other heroes were affected by him, but yeah. I think when you check Ember Spirit, he's also died at the river as well.
It was actually
So a bit
recent
of
voice. See,
overextension.
scoreboard, oh, then he assist. There is an assist from Santo, actually. Santo also involved. So there was actually 2-on-1, then Santo just made his way to the bottom lane to help out. So being very, very active. And I think that's one thing we've got to say, that the WRG sports are fantastic. Santo, not surprising, around the map quite a bit already having his impact felt.
Yeah, and also rotating the bottom just in case the Morphling gets in trouble again, you know, because Spirit Breaker hasn't been seen after that charge, and Dota and Die is just, you know, looking for something. We're pretty hungry for a Doombound. Is also with him in the bottom lane, so they do need him. And also Scarnet's just being more aggressive here, taking the enemy jungle creeps. Stacks, by the way.
More charge coming in from Dota and Die into the middle lane here. Castaway, hard target to bring down. In fact, he's so far back, and that was natural, by the way. That was just because the lane had been pushed up. A lot of creeps underneath the tower, Castaway dragging them back, and not a fight they wanted. But towards bottom lane once more, you do see the Morphling going up. He's trying to get onto BNB, and Lich is going down here almost certainly. They're committing to the Santo. Once piece, one more hit, but the tree line in his favor gets that ranged attack on the melee hero. And Santo will pay for it with his life, though. So one piece. Well, actually one in the void, but I think he went slightly wide there.
Yeah.
So he actually missed the waveform, and that was enough to keep the Faceless Void alive, or at least stop him from being under any threat. Do they have the Shrine available? If they do, so they may actually couple up. They have XTC, Dota, and Die on the side as well, who might also appreciate some mana. He can't even charge at the moment.
Yeah, that was really close with Morphling Wave as well. I mean, I don't think it's enough damage, but a right click would have been done as well. But otherwise, surviving that after the tier 1 tower, I don't think it would have worked out for WALP. So, yeah, good choice just to go back after missing that the waveform.
So that's going to be a Chrono Field almost certainly. WALP in the bottom lane, do they commit it? No. Swan doesn't want it.
Super safe.
I thought they would go for it actually, because they did have the Chrono wind up.
Yeah, and Morphling didn't have enough mana.
Yeah, and Dota and Die can't really add a huge amount of value to this right now. But I guess they expected the TP rotation, didn't get it, so maybe hung on to it. But I think WALP may be a little bit lucky to be alive here. Maybe they hadn't checked his mana before going in, but I'm a little bit surprised, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, or maybe they thought that Santo would have been in the jungle. I'm just checking top here. Chidawi being more aggressive this time. But otherwise, Adestan just taking those last hits once again.
Yeah, Shidai actually getting a little bit low there because he did go in underneath the Firefly. And Shidai wants to run down. He doesn't have a huge amount of mana himself. Does have 8 magic 1 charges, so he can get back into the fray. But like I said, really difficult for him to be a true threat to Adestan.
So charge coming in for Castaway from Spirit Breaker in the top river, passing Roshan.
Oh, they're lining up Deppy. Deppy hunting for this. The courier, maybe
Santo caught him out.
Yeah, Don't Die actually takes the Dreamcrawler as well. Deppy can't do a huge amount to help his buddy, but he does want to bring down Schlings. And a nice little bit of work there, using the Remnant to go first onto the Ancient Apparition, then back to safety. So nice work there by Deppy, showing some skill of his own, bringing things to 3-2 for the time being here. Pretty decently contested game of Dota so far.
Yeah, swapping a support for a support. It's not too bad. At least you gave your core mid player a kill over there. But yeah, he's getting his boots of travel pretty soon, the Ember Spirit. So it's quite timely for that.
I mean, that's pretty decent timing.
That's really good.
Oh, you think getting ready for it? I was like, what? 10 minutes? That's pretty good. Castaway takes quite a bit of damage here, but it will actually lose your orb over to the rune. Does he get the good luck? No, does he? No, he doesn't. No, he's not. Hates rune at the bottom lane. Fight breaks out once more. Skarn in a bit of trouble. You will, in fact, Chrono for this, but that's only to escape. A lot of sticky napalm stacks on him. But I think he'll be able to walk this one off okay in the end.
Yeah, they just didn't have enough supports with him. I mean, Spirit Breaker, I think it was just far away, and then with Castaway rotating the bottom lane as well. Don't think you want to lose to that. Not at this moment, Albert.
not at this moment, indeed. So Santo lining up towards the bottom lane. Scarnet will be the center of attention, but I don't know if that's the target they want. Pretty hard to bring down right now. I'm interested in him.
Yeah.
He's also a big hero to look at. When he starts looking at that Blink Dagger, 4-star, interesting to see what build he actually goes for. But obviously, a very, very potent hero. Being able to pick up the Ember Spirit itself and the Weaver early on. We expect the Weaver will in fact go into Lincoln's at some point. But really nice for him to engage on both Deppy and the Weaver. Castaway goes the other way. Deppy, it's stranded on the other side of the tower, but towards bottom lane once more, the battle rages on. DMB Lich gets stunned up, should be brought down, tosses up Chain Thrust, gets some support from Don't Die. The Chain Thrust doing so much work. Santo lives on, but not long enough. Scarnet wants a piece more, will in fact go in after Shidawi. Shidawi says, I just want out, leave me alone. Remnant's coming through, not quite in time as Deppy. And then there's going to be exchanged the Lich for the Tusk so far.
I think that was a good trade. I mean, Tusk, I think expected to die over there, but with the Lich falling to that, after getting the Chain Frost out, it's a pretty fair one.
Let's take a quick peek and watch it all again, since it has been a bit of a quiet game. Off to the replays we go.
Yeah, snapping. Yep, this rotation coming in from... No, I thought they were going from behind. I think Santo might catch out the Spirit Breaker over here at the bottom jungle. Actually, Chidawi spot him out. He needs to charge away, but where to?
Are they going to actually commit to Don't Die here? He is a Spirit Breaker, and the race is on! The race is on, but the snowball connects and Don't Die going to be brought down here, slowed up by the Ancient Apparition as well, and does fall. Probably wishes that was level 3 charge.
Yeah, that was a free kill for Chidawi once again. He's actually on 2 kills. I mean, sorry, that was 1 kill. There was 1 assist earlier from Chidawi, but he's, so far so good. I mean, just getting the free kill over there by the Spirit Breaker. It's something nice to have for WRG right now.
So, let's chat a little about Whelp. In fact, let's chat a little about stats, because I think it's a bit overdue now. So net worth at the moment, we do have the, I want to say Deppy, but it's Castaway. Castaway Puck, sitting at 5.2k, he's leading the charge at the moment. But he's also getting charged himself, so let's see if they can decide to make anything of this. He did pretty low in mana, but he is also very far away.
He's got 7 charges as well in his one.
Yes, that is
okay.
not a Don't Die successful kill, so he's going to back off. But as I was saying, it's good to chat a little bit about the stats. At the moment, fairly decent lead to XTC. You don't see that every day, seeing about 2.7k, and the experience also is close to 3k. So XTC is looking pretty good here, Reigns.
Yeah, XTC is, I mean, they've got 2 kills less than WRG right now, but that doesn't show at all. While Whelp is trying to get his last hits though. I mean, he's struggling as a Morphling in the early game, but I think he can still catch up pretty soon. Just leveled his waveform to level 4. So, yeah, I think the catch-up is going to be, if not now, the next few minutes, but they really need to slow Adderstam down. Like WRG needs to just get the cores in and try to, gang with Castaway, especially with that puck.
So the puck going to certainly be a problem as well. They actually going to commit to mid. He gets a silence up, but the AA blast doesn't connect. That's a big deal. Walrus punch goes through. Not enough damage to bring down Deppy. If that AA LT had connected, we may have seen a different story, but at the end, not enough. Whelp in the bottom lane though, he's backing off as he does have some attention from Scarnet. In the end, once more, neither of these sides able to pick up the kill they're looking for. They're actually really, really well poised, is XTC, for this early game stage. They have everything. They've pretty much, I wouldn't say won the lane phase, but because I mean it's pretty close. It's not like a distinctive lead at least, but they have come out on top.
Yeah, it's extremely close. So we see almost getting 100 last hits on that puck. Actually fighting Deppy, got him on silence right now. Deppy might be in trouble with the AA ulti not connecting to Deppy though. So he is going to just teleport back to base.
And not quite the timing they need. In fact, I take it back. Actually, I'm just looked over the net worth, and XTC have won this laning phase. As scary as it sounds, they're actually of the top 4 net worth in the game. They have 3 of those. So certainly would be pretty happy with this. And against a side like WG, they'll take it with open hands towards the mid lane though. They are going to go once again onto Deppy, but what? Castaway went back in. He found everybody, gets the dream kill down, but he's in a lot of trouble. Takes his chain frost to the face. Root comes out, and they're going to pick up Castaway. That is a big one. That puts Castaway into 2nd place as far as net worth goes. But top lane, the fights rage on, and they're going to go in snowballing off the Scarnet. Don't think you can get much of this. Adderstam still in as well. A is going to toss through his ulti. Won't actually connect onto Adestam. These A blasts just keep missing. Scarnet, he wants a piece now, and the charge is on, coming from the side. Don't die. Santo in a lot of trouble. He gets Nether Bast as well, Nether Strike, excuse me, and he's out of this one. WG, actually 2k behind here. XTC with their tails up, Reigns.
Yeah, it all started with the mistake from Castaway. I mean, getting the Illusion Orb up and then try to blink back, realizing that there are two other Dai heroes waiting for him. And then it continued to Santo overextending, and it just didn't work out. And that is all thanks to the work of the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, he has been everywhere. Don't die. It really had an interesting history as a South African Dota player. He used to be considered, I say it used to be considered, I used to say this a lot about him, and I felt a little bit bad about it, but he was...
Oh, it's ALT coming in, making sure Skarner gets the death over their top lane.
Oh, totally missed it. Sorry about that one. I was saying, don't die. He's been, for me, been a pick of the XTC players so far, just been absolutely everywhere. He is a Spirit Breaker, you'd kind of expect it, but he's been effective. I think that's the easiest way to say it. 3 of the 6 kills has been partially part of him, but of course he's also been applying a lot of pressure on all these lanes. The thing I wanted to say though is that man as a player used to be a solo mid, had a similar hero pool, 2 Castaway himself, and he changed, I believe, first to off lane,
yeah,
and now more so running that support role at the moment. He's been, in my opinion, something he's grown as a player with potential to someone who's really, really good, and sometimes doesn't get the love he deserves.
Yeah, well, he's been very versatile. It's only been a year or something even, so he's been switched to multiple roles, doing excellent work at that.
Like you were there, right? There was actually the TEDx event. Top lane though, Santo, he's going to engage him, does get the snowball up, but he's heading back towards the ledge. Deviant gets tossed in the air thanks to Santo's punch, but now trying to get through, tosses out the ice shards, not going to be enough to save him, will buy him a little bit of time, but in the end, nice searing chains coming through from Deppy. Gonna lock him down and ensure the kill. So 6-7 at the moment, still XTC lead.
Yeah, that was a certain kill of Santo over there. I don't think the ALT would have done anything as well, so that was just pure overextension. And well played so far to XTC. I mean, just keeping the lead there. Adestam actually leading the net worth graph right now with 7.1k.
Oh, this is, you know, as this game goes by, watching WG, in fact, watching Don't Die, he's going forward, he's going to get that charge off onto Castaway. Can he survive when they strike everything onto him? But will Castaway be brought down? Does in fact survive for the time being, but still in there. Castaway finally, no, the man survives, and in fact, they turn it around, they pick up the Lich, they pick up the Ember, they pick up the Spirit Breaker.
Now that's
and
an Castaway, ALT that you want to see, right? It just worked out so well.
Want to see. Castaway is still alive, the man survives, and a big turn of events here. In fact, that reduces the lead quite significantly. In fact, will probably completely diminish by the time the dust has settled. But I wanted to say, up until that point, it looked like XTC really were in control of this game.
You were worried a little bit there, right? That Castaway's puck was almost going to die.
I was literally in the statement that was saying, at some point you have to worry if WG actually loses, because you don't expect them to lose it. You as a caster, you cast these games and you don't want to get too excited when another side does well, because it's WG. They just inevitably come back, and we sort of saw it there. They cancelled the last moment actually, and that's an interesting choice. I guess I didn't see too much of the field. I mean, if we take a look at their vision, they have pretty much no vision on anybody, so they opted against it. But as the bird's eye can tell, actually had quite a bit of space there to operate in the end. Yeah,
well, Warp is also catching up over there slowly though. His last hit's on 110, just 17 below his fellow puck. So doing okay. I mean, he started off rough, right? Getting the Festus Void, overextending, in trouble. Adestam trying to get some information in the enemy jungle.
Doesn't back scout both Santo as well as Castaway. Tosses through the swarm. Doesn't actually connect with anybody. They're going to toss through an Illusion Orb as well. Will in fact hit Adestam. He's not his Lincoln Sphere up. He's actually doing really well. Can I just point out he is being farming very, very nicely. Take a look at his net. His last hit is 122. But does put him in second place. They will connect with the ALT though. The sidelines though, they're going to find Santo, and Santo should be brought down here for free. That's a nice pick-off. Just the support did come at the cost of their Spirit Break LT. So a little bit less lockdown available, but maybe enough to secure this tower. On the sidelines, they will in fact see Shidawi. He's got that Blink Dagger up, primed and ready. Would love a big tasty target like that Faceless Void, like that Weaver. Of course, he's got enough setup with Castaway able to just, he surely has, yeah, he's got a Blink Dagger up. He can go and initiate pretty readily. Yeah, Morphling tried to rotate to top to get the tower while that fight happened, and
DP just timely used his BOTs to teleport up top and defended just on the tower. It's really low at this moment. I mean, I think Welp could have taken it really easily, but good spot there by DP to defend there. Getting the Rosh towers, the Rosh pit as well.
Going for this one, I'm gonna, this is a live event. Some of the audience I don't trust, I see you over there wanting to make some noise, so we'll just quietly sit on this side of the map, enjoy WRG up to no good at the moment. They're smoked up themselves and they're going to know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
They know exactly what's going on. They're going to go in there, a nice Astral goes through, and now a lot of damage coming out. So much damage going. Adestam, last man standing in the pit. Chainfrost going to connect with Cosmo in the sidelines there. Adestam still in the trade, but Chidawi picks up the Aegis, snatched it out from underneath the XTC's nose. The fight rages on. They're going to potentially pick up Schlings, should pick up Schlings and do so. Chidawi very, very low. Deppy wants a piece of him. He himself has got to be careful, uses a sleight of fist to keep himself alive for the time being, but Adestam so low, has to back out, gets caught up by that silence, and now Deppy tries to TP away and does manage to do so. But the difference breaker there, difference maker, I think I was right at that time, it wasn't like a breaker, was the fact that they managed to steal the Aegis. And I think of all the opportunities now, I really hope that we can see that again, because that snatch was so important.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Chidawi just made sure that he kept attacking Adestam, so it forced him to get the ultimate there, right? And then as soon as he go back to full HP, Adestam stayed at position, tried to snatch the Aegis, but no. Chidawi blinks in, made sure.
Yeah, it was one of those awkward fights, right? You expected it to be a little bit better for WG. Like they obviously knew what happened. They were heading past the Roach pit, their smoke popped, and they ended up with a really nice ice shard that went in first. But then it wasn't quite as neat and tidy as they may have hoped.
Things didn't connect over there. I mean, yeah. I think Tusk just got ready a little bit too early and didn't wait for the teammates to be there on time. But Chidawi did make it there, and that snatch on the Aegis is pretty important.
So in fact, it won them the fight, put them in the lead. But let's, I think we can see. Oh, okay, this is going to end badly, and this is going to be held with curse right now. But I see people tipping away. It should be safe. Can we please see that replay play again, production friends?
Just going to wait for an answer there.
Yeah, I'm just like hinting strongly for the replay.
They're just going to probably ignore you. That's not going to happen, boys. Yeah, there's ALT right onto Skynet, and Castaway jumps straight into it with the Dream Coil, and Chidawi manages to get the kill secure.
That charge coming through from Don't Die as well into that top lane. We'll see Welp in the side bit of it. He also has his Lincoln Sphere complete.
And then it ends. Yeah, but the Faceless Void kill was pretty important as well, and they just saw it. Just made sure. ALT did everything.
So WG 2k ahead, but so let's ask the question. You got the Morphling pretty much locked and loaded here with his Lincoln Sphere, not his Aegis at all, and of course heading towards that shotgun build from Welp.
It's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
When you play a carry morph, you have to go for it. I mean, it's so fun as well.
It is so fun. I think that's the thing.
It's like a sweet, sweet feeling of one-shotting enemies.
And he's still net worth as well, so he's certainly not having a hard time just yet. Had a lot of space created for him by his team. One of the more, I wouldn't say passive, but one of the more whole top lane. We do have an engagement here. It's going to be that last Sue onto this Weaver, and Adestam just absolutely eaten up alive here. And once again, WG have the answer. I wanted to say back in the previous fight, actually, Castaway, we saw how influential he was. He's getting off these silences, getting off these decent dream calls, providing so much team fight power for his team. I'm really surprised that they picked the heroes they did into this Puck.
I think as soon as they third pick Puck, XTC was realizing, oh, okay, this is possibly maybe going towards a Chidawi offlane Puck. But yeah, in the end, it just worked so well for WRG. They, even though the Spirit Break and everything, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, especially when you go towards the mid game where Puck can just escape from pretty much anything.
And Weaver can't. And he in fact, with that Lincoln's up, we saw was ineffective. He got caught up by the lasso all the same from this Batrider. I'm not actually sure what popped it. Maybe used the Force Staff on him. There's the only thing I can think of. Any way he could have gone in there. But
to getting quicker into the team fights?
No. I mean, I'm curious to know how they actually popped the Weaver's Lincoln Sphere, because they had the lasso on him, and I doubt you're going to get your Santo. Maybe a snowball. Maybe with the silence was able to actually snowball and break it, or just actually use the snowball to break it.
Yeah, but actually that gave WRG quite a bit of lead there, almost sitting on 3K, and you know it was so tight right now. Oh, there might be a fight.
Lane, yeah, they're actually going to catch out a very important puck. In fact, the one we've been talking about, Castaway, takes everything from that neutral. Thanks a bunch, says DMBN. We'll be very, very happy with that pickup there. There was actually another WG player in this round, Shidawi, who may feel a little bit fortuitous that he wasn't caught out instead. The Castaway is in fact the biggest target on the map at the moment with the highest net worth. They'll be very pleased about that. But more concerning, second highest on the map is in fact Wolp.
Yeah, not too concerning for XTC right now. I mean, they're getting the map control. They're almost everywhere all the time. And then the Castaway almost got picked off over there. Shidawi, though, gets the last one. Dota and Die managed to kill Welp. Getting the second one. Depi is going to run away around time. And Shidawi, though, sitting very low at a stand, managing to get that kill.
Yeah, they're still going forward. Santo will be the next corpse to fall on the back lines. They'll even finish off his little summoned friend. But XTC, with the tails up here, pick up, in fact, 3. If you consider the fact they, in fact, picked up Puck early on in the fight.
Yeah, that Castaway pick-off was pretty important for XTC to manage to take some space for them. I mean, they've already got the space, now they have even more. And that A ulti,
beautiful.
Imagine it got Depi in there as well.
Got enough. In fact, they caught out Depi on the edge of it. Didn't take the damage. It was affected by the debuff. Now,
still something, right?
Castaway doesn't want any part of this. Scarnet very keen to find out his pucky friend. Scarnet going to have no problem getting away from that cold feet.
Castaway was just pretty persistent to try to deny the tier 2 tower at least. So he was pretty persistent about that. But good choice to just back off there just on time. Really scary from the void to just time walk in.
Shidawi though really. But I'm quite interested. I'm not sure if he's probably carrying a dust. So, hence why we do see the wind lace absent. But no, he's in fact got, the wind lace is absent. Obviously, Batrider keen on as much speed as possible. At a time, going to be careful in the spot lane. He does have friends, going to spot out Welp. Starts moving into the jungle, but he sees a lot of scary.
Yeah.
A lot of scary is in fact going to do a respect time lapse. That's still in trouble here. Gets caught out by that silence once again. The friendship comes in the form of Scarnet, but it's a bad friendship because he caught in the chrono as well. They're going to commit onto Shidawi, try to bring him down. Welp just going down the back line. Will start hammering away on Scarnet with that waveform. The snowball's going through on Don't Die. He gets knocked up into the air by good old Santo. And now WG with their tails up. They've actually picked up 3 for 3 for the time being. Depi wants out. Starts backing off. Welp still keen on picking up this Lich, and Castaway even more so. They're going to head up towards the shrine. They do connect with it, but Castaway deep inside the Depi versus Castaway in the backline. Welp still challenging for this Lich kill. Pretty much abandoned his puck. I think his puck might just die. I think it's a more important kill to watch. And Depi, he's just sitting on top of this. Does he have the ability to do so? The silent comes out. He does have the round up. Wow. But Castaway will pick up the haste route instead and back off. Castaway survives. Welp picks up the Lich kill. In the end, it's 2 for 4. Sorry, in fact, 3 for 4.
Yeah, very well played for WRG, especially that puck escape. I mean, that was just excellent there. I mean, it's like, okay, don't worry, Welp. I am just going to survive by myself, and you can go grab that Lich kill. It's all right.
Are they just going to casually kill Depi here as well? Depi.
He's in trouble.
Depi. He gets hit. He gets tagged. Is he down? Depi just survives. That was real close, friends.
That was super, super close. Some teleports here on the Radiant Shrine. I think they want to hunt for somebody over here. The question is who. Meanwhile, the Dire side does have a ward there by the bottom side of the river, so they're going to be okay. They still have a little bit of control.
So let's take a look at the items. Oh, there's an item for you. Was that up in the last one? I don't feel like Edward was up in the last fight. Am I crazy?
It was probably there afterwards, after he took the Lich kill.
So that's really the biggest one. I think biggest piece of information you can get. But another piece of information you can get is they are in fact going to find Adestam again, and they're going to connect everything onto him. And Adestam says goodnight. So he sits on the bench for another 61 seconds.
What did you say earlier? The friendship in the form of Scarnet.
Yeah, it was bad friendship though.
That didn't happen this time.
It didn't happen this time or last time. Last time Scarnet in fact put his friends in a bubble, and it didn't work out so well for him. But
and now it goes on with with Adestam down. Could be big trouble over here. I mean, WRG could take this tier 2 tower up top for free. Got ulti on the Dream Coils available. I mean, the only thing that's not is Batrider's Lasso, but that's okay. You just want your tier 2 and you're going to get out of here, which they are. They're going to try to defend their tier 2 tower at the bottom lane for the Radiant side.
Yeah, nice air ulti coming through as well, connecting with a couple of the XTC players. This tier 2 taking quite a bit of damage. Deppy has been really good, but he gets silenced up again, and he's in trouble. There's nobody to help him out. Are they just going to get this for free? Deppy once more able to get to the top lane, the mid lane, excuse me. Gotta be careful that the AA blast, probably not too far of cooldown, 30 seconds, should be fine.
That was a bit disappointing. I mean, if Chidawi had that lasso, he would have went towards Deppy, but just because he hasn't, he had to hunt for other heroes such as the supports, but they have rotated back already, and you know, what could have been the kill for WRG just didn't make it work.
Santo, bottom lane, doing a little bit of farming. He's going to get a surprise if he's not careful, and it's coming in the form of Dota Die, charging through, connects there, and there's a lot there going to connect with the Nether Strike as well. Santo brought down for free.
Another free kill for Adestam. I mean, it's not so bad. He died 4 times, but still keeping up with the net worth, except that you can't really let the Morphling run away with that. I mean, it's almost on 16k net worth, and that shotgun is not going anywhere.
So I just want to say how big this game is, right? WG are the team that we expect to win this tournament. They've been described as unbeatable. They are the better bravado emotion, if you would. And here's the thing. XTC, if they win this, they get I'll double check this, but I believe they do in fact get a 1-game advantage in the grand finals. That is absolutely huge.
Yeah,
one of the hardest things to do is to beat WG 3 out of 4 times. But if they win this, 2 out of 4 times sounds a lot better.
It does. I mean, with the 1-game advantage, it really goes towards the winner for this round. So it is highly possible right now as well. I mean, they need to somehow close down the Morphling, right? Need to find a way.
They're going to punish Chidawi instead. They're going to hit the swarm on him. They charge over to him as well. Chidawi does self-fuels. They're by the shrine. They've got to be careful. Chidawi running over to it. No one from WG reacts. They're not going to force that fight. They are technically ahead, just 1k, but also, and more scarily so, Whelp is pretty much on fire at the moment. He's got the most net worth in the game.
Yeah.
Finish with that man style as well. F-Blade already up and running. It's going to be very, very challenging to bring down. But it looks like we're going to go after something else. We're going to respect the fact that this is a LAN environment. The players are...
Oh, so ALT coming in as well, so...
Right, okay, so never mind then.
They do know.
They know exactly what's going on, in fact, and XTC back off immediately. Santo also hunting around that area. They're going to spot out Deppy. He's actually caught in a very awkward spot here with those ice shards.
Yeah, and Deppy could actually catch up with a net worth graph as well if he manages to take 2 or 3 heroes out of that fight. But after Chidawi going down, I don't think WRG is going to risk taking down the Rosh pit, but no, they disagree with me. Chidawi's back and they're strong.
Oh, they're going to get the lasso onto that Dota Die Spirit Breaker. They bring him down. It's not the biggest target, but at the same time, it is a reliable source of stun and a good disable that they can use to bring down one of the bigger targets on the WG lineup. Whelp, though, standing strong, going to get the Shade Frost to the face. He's got more into strength to try to slide this. He's not able to. That is a very big kill on the sidelines, though. They're going to get down the Chronosphere. Santo fighting strong up against Scarnet. He gets the cold feet, though. Should be brought down. One more hit comes in from Castaway on the sidelines. Now Deppy still once more. Can he catch up Santo? Santo starts steeping out. They may want bigger fish, though, but there's no bigger fish available. Castaway does manage to get away on the other side. Roshan up for grabs. XTC, 4 men standing up against 2. It's really whatever objective they want at this point, and we might be seeing one of the single biggest upsets. I mean, what, since
this year?
Since the DGL Masters last year's?
Yeah, I would like to see a replay for that as well. So you have the initiations there, and then that was a big, big kill for Deppy. So he had about a 3,000 net worth deficit, but after that, he is pretty much leading the net worth graph. Yeah.
Still going at it. We're going to go back live, I think, right? Please back live. They get a huge AA blast as well. Castaway in the thick of things, trying to force back. Oh, they catch everyone with the Dream Coil. He pops 2, he pops another potentially as Deppy. He gets caught by the lasso, dragged back in. WRG say no, shut that door. And they're going to toss up the Lich into the air with you as well. DBM, he falls well, 4 for nothing this time around. They in fact are still respawning, and now it's their turn. What objective do they want? Well, Wolf, I think, says he wants Roshan, and he's probably going to get it as well. He head back towards it.
Well, that was a good call from you, Halbert. I mean, we were just talking about how Ember Spirit was just so far behind, or 3,000 net worth behind the Morphling. He was ahead, and then you called for the final fight, and then he's back again on second place. But so close right now, and Depi definitely keeping up with the Morphling at this moment.
I'm not sure why XTC decided to go for the push. I feel like maybe trying to force the buybacks when it didn't happen, they thought they had a chance for it. But Slings, it's a massive AL, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then they pick up
The Dream
beautiful
Coil as well.
Dream Coil. That's one they will remember as the 550,000 Rand Dream Coil from Castaway. And then they pick up an Aegis on top of it. So, you know, it was like a really awful time. XTC are going to be kicking themselves for this, because this may be the moment that they regret most in this matchup. They should have gone for Roshan, man.
Yeah, so what they should have done wasn't, and now Castaway and his friends taking over or getting the advantage out of this. 27 to 22, 30 minutes in, or 36 minutes in, excuse me. That's a lot of kills. 49 kills in 36 minutes.
Well, XTC have some work to do. Claw their way back into it. Don't die though. He's going to start things up. They're getting a charge up to the top lane. There is Castaway there. They're going to try connect. Nice self-fuels comes in from Castaway. Can he survive this one? The blinks there. Castaway's going to live through it. It's so frustrating trying to bring down a puck. You commit a huge amount to him. In fact, they commit the Chronosphere to that. Not enough damage to bring down Castaway.
Chidawi looking for someone as well. Actually spots out Adderstam, but ult is away. I don't think it's going to be okay with it though.
Though. They still have the lasso. There was the forced off use, so still an opportunity. Adderstam wants out, and he will get out this time.
And ulti wasted, but if you're a Weaver, it's okay. It's what, like 30-second cooldown on that ulti?
Yeah,
it's alright.
Certainly better than the lasso cooldown.
Yeah, miles
at,
better.
Like 60 seconds. Twice.
Yeah, well, it's what
like the cheater would say. It's an
sure.
age of man in this kind of fight. Probably. I see.
Twice the time is still a lot though.
Yeah. So, WG smoked up over here, trying to find something. Well, he's happy just to keep farming, as it looks like XTC have retired to their base for the time being. I think they're just waiting out this Chronosphere. They don't want to be involved in any sort of clash without that available. It's so imperative that they use that to bring down the likes of Castaway and the likes of Whelp. But Whelp is huge right about now.
It's really difficult to take down Whelp. I mean, you already have Whelp
hold
to
on.
worry
I hear
about.
Batrider is less used. In fact, they pick up the Weaver, they pick up Alistar. They want more. Santa goes in. They pick up the Lich. Whelp very, very low. Skarner trying to bring him down, but he's going to back off now. He's got Castaway on top of him doing a lot of magic damage. Skarner went up. Will time lapse away. Depi actually following the illusion of the Batrider. And now Whelp tosses out a little bit of damage to Skarner. That's just to disrupt any further Flame Guard damage, but it's 4 for nothing. WG on the front foot. Depi trying desperately to hold out. What's the buyback status like? Do they have anything? Nothing on the Spirit Breaker, nothing on the Lich, nothing on the Faceless Void, and nothing
Weaver.
on the Weaver.
What?
It is Depi versus the world. XTC may just tap out, because they are losing this Rax, and it may be enough. Depi still wants more, goes in, he gets caught out here, knocked into the air by Santo, brought down by Castaway, and friends, as WRG march on to take the first Rax, and potentially this game, this series, and a road to the grand finals.
Just 5 minutes ago, we just saw them try to take down Whelp, and they did. And then suddenly, it is now Puck sitting on top of the net with Whelp. It's insane at this moment.
Buyback comes out from Depi. Now they've got to keep these racks up. Depi goes into Whelp, doesn't quite find what he's looking for. Whelp still managed to survive this one and gets all the way to the side, but he got caught up by Skarner in the Chronosphere. Santo comes to help. Chain Frost bouncing through. Isn't enough. Santo low. It's not enough to bring him down though. They still need to find Whelp. They have to get this kill for any sort of chance. On the back lines, Lich being torn apart by this Mad-Star illusion. They will finally find something in the form of the Batrider, but the fight is just not good enough. They use buybacks, and WG are finding their way out. In fact, they even lost two. They lost the Spirit Breaker, they lost the Faceless Void, and they're trying to bring down Castaway. Castaway heading for the hills, gets away from the Swarm. They don't know where he is. They don't have the best division right now. He's going to pick up a regenerate and be A-okay. WG 20k ahead, and XTC in a very, very poor spot.
In the span of taking down the bottom racks and also half of the mid racks, and also Castaway just doing his things, and then also with Morphling escaping on such low HP, it just shows that everything is going towards the Radiant side right now, and it doesn't look so good for XTC to win this BO1.
Okay, so let's say this much. In this tournament, we've seen a 40,000 gold lead. I wouldn't say wasted, but defeated by Pulse. But 20,000 gold against WOG. It's worth 100,000, man. They are that good. They are some scary people. And XTC, I mean, individually brilliant, but as a team, can they bring back that sort of deficit against WOG?
It's a really difficult one. Yeah, I mean, Weaver is an item behind, Ember Spirit is an item behind, and now Castaway and Whelp are just, you know, Ascore is just doing everything.
Oh, they're going to catch
Chidawi
up something big. They're going to catch on Hastags punched up in there. Good night. And potentially good night for the XTC dreams of making it all the way through this wooden bracket to the grand finals, because WOG are on a roll and they are absolutely smashing XTC all of a sudden. Let's watch it. Let's enjoy the moment again.
Chidawi just initiating like what's over there. I mean, he's already prepared for this, right? He's got his duck over there just in case, and then pop goes the Weaver.
Pop goes the Weaver. There we go. WG on the front foot on this high ground. Once again beating down the XTC racks. Can they make magic? Can Skarnik get the hero moment? No. Only catches Castaway and destroyed, but he managed to get some of his H back with the time. Chain Frost going through. AL going through. Whelp on the front lines. I want some more as he gets knocked around by Don't Die. 70%, but Strength more too strong. Don't Die getting smashed down by the entire WG lineup. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's good night, because there is nothing left in the tank. As XTC break, Deppy still fighting on, still wants a piece of tossed up into there, used up, but the GG is called, and WRG make their way to yet another grand finals, and XTC will meet a new challenger that they've met maybe once or twice in the past.
Yeah, well, I think XTC had a glimpse of, you know, a hope victory in the mid game. And then where you mentioned, like, why did they push up in the taking the mid racks or trying to do it? And then that's where AA ulti came in, right?
Yeah.
And then Castaway just, you know, easily took down 4 people in the Dream Coil, making sure that they win that fight.
We could have been telling another story, but I tell you one thing, it does mean that WG are not unbeatable. They are potentially unbreakable, but they can bleed, and you can potentially find a way in. And perhaps XTC showed a little bit of that today. But in the end, surprise, surprise, WG make it all the way. But I think from our side, we're going to start wrapping things up. I just wondering, do you have any final thoughts before we toss over to Gareth?
I think XTC can still, assuming it's Ian, that they're going to play in the lower brackets finals, it's going to be a tough one. But if it goes like what it was during May, it is going to probably be a WRG XTC grand finals.
Great. Well, that's it from us. And thanks very much, Reigns. Thanks very much for all the audience that has stayed with us this late evening. And it's actually not that late. We've been pretty good, 7 p.m. But enough from us. Gareth, I'm sure you have something interesting to tell us. Please take it away.
Thanks a lot, casters. There we have it. WRG marching through the final as expected, although a little bit of a hiccup perhaps shown by XTC, giving them a little bit to think about as they go forward into that final. To give us a full analysis of the game, let's hear what our panel has to say.
Thanks, Gareth. And, well, that's kind of the play we expected from WRG, to be entirely honest.
Not as expected. That game was a lot harder than it needed to be from their side. One of the things that like XTC did really good job of fighting the entire time. They never allowed WRG space to rest. Like constantly you would see, for example, like Chidawi, the timing on his Blink Dagger was a little bit behind because he constantly had to rotate towards mid knowing that there'd be a fight there. And they got quite a lot of kills, but there was so much action happening across the map that everyone was busy, which, not that it loses you the game, but it derails you and it doesn't allow WRG to play that same standard side of Dota that they play.
Do you agree?
I agree. But it's also like, I felt like, you know, WRG didn't exactly ruffle stomp like we expected them to. I mean, honestly, it was extremely even, like right throughout, even like towards the mid game, it went 1K this side, 1K that side, 3 kills ahead, 3 kills behind. It was just like constant tit for tat type of Dota until Morphling came online.
Because I mean, XTC won that rather convincingly in the end.
WRG.
Sorry, WRG. Oh. It may only be 7 o'clock, but it's late enough for me, apparently.
I think what happened was that they got to that point in the game where, like, you don't have the damage to kill Morphling. Like, what was that? That last fight, he was on half HP for maybe like 2-3 minutes, and they kept trying to bring him down, and it's just, you can't. What are you supposed to do against this hero? You don't have the burst damage, and that's We'll also talk about what happens when you have this last X Factor pick. And a lot of the games in the tournament we've seen be won by this hero that you pick last, that the enemy has 0 way to counter.
Exactly.
We saw Energy, we saw Bravado lose, a win with a Morphling. We've seen Energy win with the Sniper. We've seen Anti-Mages come out. So sometimes this last pick that the enemy just like, well,
I've got no answer.
I have 0 answer. Like they just did not have the burst damage. And even the Ember Spirit's build, he was forced to try and build into like the early Maelstrom, try to get more damage, but just couldn't get there.
Yeah. Do you agree? Is that something that's been a considerable factor in your book as well?
I mean, I even stated before.
What's wrong with this panel? They're always agreeing.
No, but, well,
you're allowed to disagree.
we have actually a few occasions. No, honestly, I do agree with saying. I also stated in the beginning, before they started, that we'll likely see some pocket strats. Something, you know, like you kind of bait them into a certain type of draft and ban phase, and then they have no answer for your last pick. It's a sucker punch pick. It's happened at least 4 to 5 times in this tournament with very good success rates. I think only once did it fail, and that was earlier with Bravado and their draft strat.
Yeah. Well, speaking of sucker punches, XTC has just suffered one, and from what I hear, a little birdie is telling me that Gareth is ready with one of them for a brief interview.
Thanks a lot, Wilson. Indeed, you are correct. I'm here with Dota and Die, who are obviously disappointed to have not gone a little bit closer against WRG. What is it going to take to bring these guys down?
Well, it was a great game, firstly. They surprised us with one specific pick. We overlooked it, and it was our mistake. But I think it looked really good for us in the beginning. I think we showed major potential. What it takes to beat them, they're definitely beatable. But they're a great team. It's going to be a challenge. We're just going to do some homework tonight. Tomorrow we're going to go in, we're going to stick to what we did last time. We're going to beat Energy, and then we're going to take White Rabbit on, but we'll be far more prepared.
Do you want to elaborate on that pick that perhaps kind of sideswiped you a bit? Are you referring to the puck that you thought might have been an offlane?
Okay, we definitely expected the puck. We didn't want Castaway to get it. He's a bit of a monster on it. But then the Ancient Apparition pick kind of threw us off early. We thought they were like trying to pull out some weird stuff, Necro or something crazy. So then that took up one of our bans, and then the puck slipped through. But it's okay, we won't let it happen again. We're going to be more ready next time.
So you say you go to the drawing board and you kind of analyze the games. Where does one start in that sort of process?
You definitely start at the draft. I think the draft is where we went wrong. I definitely think it could have been a much different game if you didn't have the puck. 80% of our gangs would have worked out better. The whole game would have been different. But yeah, I know we'll probably go have a look at the replay. There were a couple of mistakes on the board. We'll figure it out and we'll just correct it.
Awesome. Well, I don't want you to reveal too much about tomorrow's drafts. Obviously, you've got the energy to get through first, and that's going to be a significant match as it is. I mean, they've had a long game against APG and showed their mettle and their experience, really. Thoughts about that game tomorrow?
Yeah, we've been sticking with the same strategy for the past 2 tournaments, just stay in the winners bracket, and it's worked out well for us so far. And no, we're ready to take energy on. We've consistently beaten them in the past couple of tournaments. We know how to play against them. Our style sort of clashes with theirs in a good way. And yeah, we're not too worried about it. We'll obviously take it seriously. We'll try our best. They are a good opponent, but I think we're better.
Awesome. There you have it. The guys from Energy, if you're listening, the challenge has been laid down. They respect you, but they don't think they have anything to fear. But we will see tomorrow when we kick off with that loser bracket final. But we're going to take a break quick before we have an interview with our winning team, WRG.
Hello and welcome to another episode of VS Gaming's Smack Talk. I'm your host, Ryan Mackay, and with me we have
Dota and Die
from XTC Gaming, and on my right we have
Charles Palnes
from White Rabbit Gaming. Good to have you boys with us. How are you all doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Very good?
Doing great, yeah.
Very good. So you guys are definitely going to be facing each other in the next match. And as you know that this is a safe environment, and we'd just like to talk a little bit about our feelings, perhaps towards each other as individuals, or as, you know, a collective team.
So for today, I think we feel quite confident in winning today. We've done a lot of preparation, but I think our opponents are also really good. So I'm looking forward to an entertaining match.
Wow. I think these guys are coming around. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, do you have anything to say to that?
Yeah, well, White Rabbit are a pretty good side. I think we have a lot of respect for them. I think it's going to be some good games, and yeah, best of luck to them.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. Wow.
We can go first.
Very good. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
You've really come a long way. Like, honestly. Like,
I'm here with the man who somehow turns the cute little puck fairy dragon into, as Dota and Dai was saying, an absolute monster. An absolute ripper of a game there. You must have been quite stoked with the way things went.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how things turned out. We all played pretty well. A few touch and go moments, but that is the lovely game we play. So I'm just glad it worked out in the end.
Obviously, earning yourself a one-map advantage as you go into the final, that's obviously something that you'll enjoy and have obviously earned. The question, though, when we spoke to Dota and Dai, he said that they got a little bit sidelined with the AA pick. Did you guys kind of shift your draft up midway through, or was it a case of that was the draft you wanted from the beginning of the draft?
Pretty straightforward. I think we knew exactly what we wanted to do. We really like playing around the AA, very strong hero, and yeah, we've been doing similar things in our scrims and ESLs, so it's worked out before and it works out here as well.
You guys have been playing a lot of matches overseas. I mean, we saw your recent success coming third in that ESL tournament. How is playing against European teams adapting your kind of play style?
It definitely makes us more clinical, because you can't get away with these small things that you might on SA or in ranked games. So definitely it just sharpens up your play in all aspects, and yeah, it makes you a better team and better individuals.
Awesome. Well, obviously you guys can rest up and get ready for tomorrow. Obviously we'll be watching Energy versus XTC to see who you're facing. Any preferred opponent?
I want to play Energy again. I haven't played them in a while. It's been a lot of XTC grand finals. And they're a very fun team to play against. So yeah, Energy definitely.
Well, there you have it, folks. Travis Castaway hoping that Energy make it through for what he's hoping is going to be a fun grand finals. But best of luck to you. We're going to close off the stream shortly. I'm going to throw to the panel first. But just to remind everyone that we'll be kicking off early tomorrow again at about 9:30 with our first match going live at 10. I've been Gareth Woods. It's been a great pleasure being your stage host. And now over to the panel.
Thank you, Gareth. As always, an absolute pleasure. So, here we are. That was the interview with the winner from White Rabbit Gaming. However, we have been hearing a lot from another winner, and that winner is sitting on stream. His name is Justin Fenner Moorcraft. Congratulations, you are the proud winner of the Demon Eater Arcana up for grabs today. I'm sure that will be on its way to you shortly. And the warmest regards from both myself, Wilson, XXL, and Succubus, since we happen to have you on our friends list. Well, nonetheless, it's come to that time where we have to round up the day. And it's been a very, very big day.
Yeah.
Some might say a tragic day.
We've said goodbye to a lot of big names, a lot of... We've also said goodbye to teams that we would have hoped would go deeper.
And we've also said goodbye to teams who we thought wouldn't get this far.
Yeah. APG, they're the team that came the furthest that we did not think would come this far. A lot of us had them pegged as the 7th, 8th, but instead they proved consistently that they are still the gatekeeper team, and they kept themselves here.
Yeah.
Bravado, we hoped for more from the RDK squad, but didn't get it. They fell to the gatekeepers. They couldn't actually push past their own barrier right now, their barrier to winning.
Yeah. And Pulse?
Pulse
you've got one sentence.
The most exciting team to watch
Pulse.
for this weekend.
Most exciting
the most exciting team to watch.
Yeah. They were definitely the team that I wasn't expecting as much as I did see come out of them. They just blew my mind with their plays, what they did. I mean, we normally think of Pulse okay, second, third, last team, that type of vibe. But they really outdid themselves this weekend.
Okay. APG?
APG, I felt, has been inconsistent in the past couple of months, but yet again, proving that when it matters, when it comes to the nitty-gritty of it, they are consistent as ever, and they do still thrive in that lower bracket. Hence why we do call them the lower bracket kings.
Okay. And finally, BVD, the last guys we said goodbye to.
I'm sad. I wanted to see, my boys, man. No, but honestly, BBD for me, they were disappointing. I expected much more out of them. I've been hearing some really good things. Also, a little bit of inconsistency, but they've been doing a lot better in the recent couple of weeks. And we didn't see them at the last LAN for some reason. But for me, I really did expect more to come out of Bravado. And I mean, when they faced XD as well, I mean, sorry, not when they faced XD. When they faced now APG, I did not expect them to lose that badly. It was just.
Well, it's a day filled with turmoil and filled with excitement. We've certainly seen our fair share, and we hope you have enjoyed the show here tonight. Unfortunately, it is time for us to pack it in for the evening. Don't you worry, though. We will be back tomorrow with even more exciting games. From all of us here on the panel, the casting crew, and the boys from VS Gaming, we wish all of you, in the interim, till tomorrow, damn good night.